All right, everyone, we're live. Welcome to One Piece Chapter 1098. I appreciate y'all for showing up. I think we already got a good amount of people here. So major shout out to you guys. I really appreciate that. I just realized my mic is way in the camera. Whatever, we'll leave it there. I didn't have a lot of time to set up, but it's all good. Appreciate y'all for showing up. I saw there was a couple donations before the stream even started, so I gotta get over there. Let's see. Lonely Mage donated $10. I appreciate you, bro. I left a link right under that super chat to his channel if you guys want to check him out. He's been around for a long time. Great creator. Well, he's just getting started, but he's like more organized than I am. So very impressed. So definitely go check him out. He's reacting later today. Appreciate you, bro. Vex, appreciate you for plugging everything as usual. Thank you, bro. And I saw that you even donated 10 memberships, bro. Thank you, Vex. One of the legends for sure. Literally the lurking legend. Shout out James Benson, Shinuku, Sway Shocks, Cash, Debus, Joe Leet, Colby, Begon, BeatGamer99, Kamori, and Totally Not Sid for becoming members. I appreciate y'all. Vex, thank you. Hope you're enjoying your One Piece TCG cards that you so graciously won in the last couple streams. And Adam Murray also doing the same, gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate you, bro. Another person who got One Piece TCG cards. Hope you're enjoying them, bro. Panda Man, Tachi, Anonymous, Cosmos, and Zombie Nixie. Welcome to the Afro Gang. I appreciate y'all. So a couple housekeeping things real quick I just want to run through. First off, I owe you guys an apology because last stream I said that I was going to have a Robin video out last weekend, and every weekend in November was going to have a video. Obviously, that didn't happen, but it is for a good reason. So something came up over the weekend, which is that while I was editing the video, I found something that basically ended up making the theory better, but it took me a couple days to kind of figure it out. So that video goes deep into Tequila Wolf, and I really like where the theory's at now after going through the second run through. So I apologize, but hopefully for the rest of the year, we'll have one every weekend. So apologize for that. Also, as I mentioned in the community post, and you guys probably know because I think a lot of you already read the chapter, Oda did not necessarily finish the chapter. Like, there's some sketches for the art and stuff like that. Obviously, we're going to find out here in just a second, but I guess just, this is Oda's first time having 3 chapters in a row in a long time, probably like 6+ months, I think. So I think that might be part of it. He's just rushed because he's had a lot of breaks recently. So maybe like more frequent breaks will be common. Or maybe it's that the chapter is so sad that he kept crying on the page and having to redraw, because there is actually a story from Dressrosa. Whenever he was drawing that, I think it was the scene with like Kyros and Rebecca. I can't remember exactly, I think like the one where they meet, like, like after he's a toy. I can't remember exactly. But basically the scene was so sad, and it was a father-daughter scene, right? And it was like so sad that like he got it to his editor late or something like that because it was so sad, or the editor couldn't do it because it was so sad, something like that. And this is, I saw the chapter title, so I can presume this is a Bonnie Kuma thing. So maybe he was too sad writing this one too. I don't know. It's probably the 3-week thing, but I wanted to share that theory. If you guys could all like the stream, that'd be amazing. It does make a difference in how the video performs. I know everyone says that, but I promise you it does. So if you do like it, that will make a difference. So I appreciate you. And then Mr. Bushido with the €2 super chat weeps. Who left this bowl of onions here? Oh, we got the onion cutting ninjas. Are they around? I've heard it's sad. So I'm looking forward to this. Which, I don't like being sad, but I mean, it makes for a good story. You know what I'm saying? Even if my theories or anyone's theories are wrong about what happened, I feel like Oda's cooking here, and that's all that matters. Having a good story is the #1 thing for me. So, TCG stream, the next member stream, I just wanted to mention that to all the members, because I know some people got memberships today. This weekend, I'll be posting about that. You'll have the following week to kind of enter, and then the ending weekend of November, we'll have another giveaway. I think is how that's going to work out. Something like that. So just wanted to give you a heads up. So keep an eye on the community posts, the members only community posts, sign up for those. All right, well, I'm ready to bust out the onions here, from what I've been told. I got a couple texts from people, like real life friends, saying how sad this was, and the chapter came out this morning. so for them to wake up early, read it, and text me, it's got to be pretty impactful. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I feel like there was one other thing. Well, I guess I'll say this. You know, I don't talk about politics a lot or anything, and I don't think a lot of you guys care. A lot of you guys aren't even from the U.S. But I'm from Ohio, and I'm very proud of our state. I'll say that. I don't know if anyone follows, but there's a lot of things we passed, which is great. But we legalized some things. That's what I'm gonna say, which is exciting. Shout out to Ohio. But all right, let's get into the chapter. Let's see, and we're right at the 9-minute mark. Great. All right. Let me pull it up. All right. So chapter 1098, the birth of Bonnie. So Oda's back on his anime episode titling game here. He's been doing this a lot lately. So I can presume that Bonnie's birth is in this chapter. So I know he said there's a lot of sketches and the art isn't finished for a lot of this, but the cover page is looking pretty good with my boy the Soul King right there. So I'm enjoying that. And then it even says on his legs, this chapter's manuscript is unfinished. Sorry, Oda. That is dope. Oda, all is forgiven, man. It was forgiven before you even said it. You didn't have to ask for forgiveness, but the fact he put the message on Brook's legs, that's amazing. I love it. I love this cover page. It also says Rock in the back, which I can't help but think Rocks, because I'm pretty sure that's like the same font he used for like God Valley, or very similar to it, like in the panel where it says God Valley in the distance with Sengoku thinking about it. It's like the same kind of thing. So it's interesting. But anyways, let's get into the actual chapter. Oh, okay. Brook powering his electric guitar solo with an electric eel. All right, cool. I like that. The electric eel factor. All right. Revolutionary Army Headquarters, Baltigo. I like this. I like going back here for the flashback. All right. Requesting backup. The Toomey uprising in the South Blue is looking bleak. We can't. Our hands are full dealing with the wounded at Goa. Eva-chan, at Goa? We'll talk about this later. I'll go. Don't be rash, Kuma. You've been acting reckless ever since that day. What the? This guy's huge. Where did you come from? State your name. Guinea's been captured? Yes, sir. It seems she caught the eye of a celestial dragon. Okay. They took her on a government ship because the celestial dragon wanted to make her his bride. We won. Finally, after 3 years of struggling, we couldn't have done it without the Revolutionary Army. The enemy took us by surprise. It was the Revolutionary Army again. Here's to the Revolutionary Army, the heroes of the people. And now we see the updated logo, because we saw the Freedom Fighters one last chapter, so now we see this one, which we've known for a while. And I guess I'll just say, it looks like oars. I know Marshall D. Preach has had multiple videos bringing this up, and I'm pretty sure people since Arlong Park have probably been bringing that up, but it's always interesting to me. Alright, please forgive us. Dragon, it's me. I've worn myself out. I'll have to return by ship. We're so sorry. I'm already feeling sad because I can just feel Oda setting it up for something. And I can see what Oda means by it's unfinished. But hey, it still looks good, man. Around 2 years have passed since Commander Guinea of the Revolutionary Army was kidnapped. And wah, we're nearly there, Bonnie, to be wed to a celestial dragon. So 2 years have passed since she was kidnapped. So that would make her like, that was like 10 or 14 years ago or something. But she's crying, so she's a baby like 12 years ago or something. Well, we'll go to the timeline again, but that's interesting. Kuma, it's Guinea. She's on the line right now. What? Hey, Kumachi, I finally made it back to the surface. Guinea, they didn't want me around after I got sick. I was thrown away. What a stroke of luck. You're sick? Oh, Kuma going right to the, like, making sure she's okay. Man, that's crazy. Here's some sketches I see. I wanted to see everyone one last time, but this call will have to be our goodbye. What? What are you talking about, Guinea? Where are you? I can be there in an instant. I was afraid I'd never see you again. Okay. Kumachi, sorry, but I'm at death's door. I'm glad you care about me, really, but you shouldn't come when I'm like this. Dragon, big bro. Kumachi has a big heart. Please take care of him for me. Get out of the way. There's only one place she'd go now. And he just left. And Kumachi, I just want you to know, I love you. Always have, Always will. And we see the Den Den Mushi hang up with the gotcha. I'm like scared to keep reading. I'm terrified to keep reading. Kuma, you're back? Where's Guinea? She's here, right? It's at Sorbet. She is, but I'm afraid it happened when she was exposed to natural light. Her face, her entire body, it turned all blue in the sun, and her skin hardened like stone. Okay. Kumachi, I'm just so happy. What could have done this to her? Hey, Kumachi, let's get married. Wouldn't it make you happy? Bro, stop, Oda. Man, that panel right there. It's almost like the fact that it's not cleaned up is making it sadder. Because it's like I said at the beginning, it's making me feel like Oda was so sad that he couldn't finish it. And I don't know. It's like hitting me harder that it's not clean. Wouldn't it make you happy? She's burned up her remaining time exposing herself to the sun so she could cross the ocean and make it home to us. Because she wanted to ensure her baby's safety. And so she's crying. You can rest now, Guinea. I swear I'll raise her well. So Bonnie is a celestial dragon child with... At least that's what I'm presuming here. Seeing it's safe to assume. Guinea. And so Guinea did die here. So before I keep reading, because this is already really sad, but I gotta say, could Kuma have pushed out like the pain or like the disease? I don't know the answer. I'm not trying to. I'm sure if he could have, he would have. But that's the first thing that came to mind. Is I thought he was gonna push out the pain and take it, and maybe like it wouldn't save her or something. But that's all wrong. You're tilting the bottle too much. Is this better? Bonnie-chan still looks uncomfortable. I'll show you how it's done. She's so cute, and if you're going to be sleeping next to her, make sure her cot is like an iron cage. We can't have you smushing her in your sleep with that massive body. Oh, man. Good dad Kuma. That's crazy, man. Oh, man. Oh, you're quite the heavy drinker, Bonnie-chan, because she's, because like Guinea was also eating all the time or whatever. I'm sure you'll be as much of a glutton as Guinea was. Well, there it is. I'm still hungry. Kuma's crying, bro. Oda absolutely cooked this flashback. I know we're not done, but man, Oda really stepped it up. Like this delivered on everything I wanted for Kuma's backstory. I mean, we're not done, but so daddy is probably like her first word, and so he's just like bawling. Everyone's so like freaking out about her. There he is feeding her. So, okay. Gotta say this now while we're here. You see this lady with Bonnie in this panel. Excuse me. Oh, one of the other things I wanted to say, one of the housekeeping things, is since I woke up, I've had like the worst acid reflux of my life. Like heartburn, basically. And it keeps coming up, so I'm sorry if I stop and burp like 5 times, because it's been rough. I went and walked my dogs. I went and worked out. I was like, I'm gonna be super active until the chapter reading. Hopefully it goes away, and it's much better. But so sorry if I stop, because it does hurt. But man, so this old lady looks just like Connie. The woman from the Reverie that Bonnie pretended to be as like Queen Dowager Connie, that looks just like her, or very similar. Not like, maybe not clones, but like looks very similar to her. So I think that's interesting in and of itself. See if it matters at all. But Kuma still doing his thing, cooking people, and then coming home and taking care of his daughter, cooking people, taking care of his daughter, cooking. Man, wow. That's been his whole life since that moment, huh? And so she's literally in an iron cage so he doesn't smash her. That's insane. And then we see young Sabo. Whoa, that is dope. That's dope. That's a cool little inclusion right there. But yeah, Kuma. This hits, man. I don't know what else to say. What in the world are you doing? Or Kuma, what in the world are you doing? You've boarded up all of the church's windows. Huff, huff, pant, pant. Close the door. Okay. And these are the guys that are in Bonnie's crew eventually, I'm pretty sure. Take a look here, below her eye. Is that a blue stone? Hey, isn't that... It looks just like what Guinea had at the end. I'll call a doctor. Thank you. It's caused by sunlight, you say? Are you sure? Why don't we try taking her outside? Are you insane? It doesn't seem to be white lead poisoning. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this condition. Okay? I'm so glad they're diving into this. I needed to know more about this disease. Because going in the sun and getting hurt, that's like Moria's shadow thing, and Emu has shadow-esque powers, right? So, you know. You're quitting the Revolutionary Army? And Bonnie's contracted the same disease that her mother had? Yes. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I have to stand by her side. Man. Good guy Kuma. Like, every time something somewhat debatable comes up for Kuma, he picks the side of, like, protecting his daughter. Like, every single time. Like, Oda's making it very obvious that he is the best dad, or, you know, up there. There's Kyros, man. He's given Kyros a run for his money, I gotta say, because Kyros is easily best dad before the Kuma flashback started, because we didn't know. Now, a best dad stream might be a good stream to have, honestly. My music just cut out for some reason. Listening on iPhone. Well, you guys can't hear my music. But it just randomly cut out. Okay, well, I don't need my own music. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I have to stand by her side. I understand it's important to live without regrets. We can use our contacts to reach out to doctors all over the world for her. I owe you, Dragon. So Dragon's pulling strings to take care of Bonnie too, and Dragon's probably pulling up to Egghead soon. I like that connection. 7 years ago, when Bonnie was 5, so she's 12, so she's half her normal age, or the age that we think. Run away, the vampire's gonna eat us. And stay out, you twerps. Flipping the bird at these people? Whoa, bro. She even has the... Whoa, wait, whoa. Wait. What? She just flipping the bird. What? I'm so... I didn't even think Oda would know about this. That's wild, bro. That's wild. That might be the craziest thing in the whole chapter to me. I'm just so stunned at that. Okay. And stay put, you twerps. And she's only 5. This is as far as you can go, right? Because she can't go outside, or they don't think she can. So that's why she's a vampire. Okay. I dare you to take a step out here, you ugly vampire. Eat this. Bet the Holy Cross is your weakness. Look at it shine. Which, that's crazy because the government symbol is a cross, or basically a cross. You know, it's like kind of the 4 blues, but it's in the shape of a cross. So, yeah, wow. And shout out Adam Murray for the super chat. I just saw that, bro. Like the stream, only like 1/4 have. I appreciate you, man. Everyone, please drop a like if you have not already. We're in a church, dummy. That's so true. Like, she's in a church the whole time. Obviously, crosses don't bother her at all. I'll show you who's boss. I'm coming after you. Bonnie, stop. Like, stop antagonizing the girl, bro. Like, of course she's gonna do this. Please, you can't go outside. Even standing near the doorway can give you the ouchies. Good dad, Kuma, man. I know, you're such a worrywart, Dad. I was just kidding. Please, don't even joke about it. Okay, I hate it when you get all sad and worried anyway. You're such a good kid. Stop being such a crybaby, Dad. This flashback, bro. Those jerks, they made fun of my face stones again. Are they really that weird? It's not like I can help them. I didn't ask to get sick. You mean your jewels? What? They're just jealous because you've got such pretty jewelry. You think so? You betcha, I love them. So that's why she goes by Jewelry Bonnie also. It's, again, every time... Oda's using every single page as a chance to show how good of a dad Kuma is. And so, if Kuma does die at Egghead, which is probably going to happen... It's gonna be scary. Hey Bonnie, if you were to go on a trip, where would you like to go? For when you're better, I mean. Oh, I know. Have you heard about the legendary Sky Islands? There are islands way up in the air. Even Kuma doesn't know this. That's right. I read about it in this book. Is it Nolan the Liar? No way. It's Nolan the Liar. It's the Bible. Wait, that's Kuma's Bible. There's even his symbol down there. Oh, dude, it just doesn't stop getting deeper. Like, man. Oda, it's completely okay that you couldn't finish this. I get it. It's completely okay. Also, the little bear, the teddy bear here in the bottom left of this panel has, like, Kuma's hat on. I love that. It's close to the sun, so maybe we'll see Nika up there. You'd love that, right, Dad? I have not even thought about... Like, remember at the very beginning of Egghead when Bonnie met the Straw Hats? And she was like, Luffy, what's up with that weird flowy hair form of yours? Like, it was like one of the first things they talked about after they, like, got on land, after, like, the swirling eddy thing. And he was like, oh, that's just when I'm the most free. And he's obviously used the form in Egghead a few times. And I never even thought about how she probably also knows about Nika because of Kuma. And so, that's crazy. Like, Oda, man. Okay. Wow, and so we got Kuma singing back there, singing the Drums of Liberation. That sounds like a grand adventure. We can go there to have a big celebration for your 20th birthday. Okay, where should we go for your 19th? Fishman Island. After examining your daughter, I've concluded that she suffers from Sapphire scale. I'm afraid it's incurable. You know what it is? And sorry to ask, but can you please speak a bit quieter? These days you almost never see it. Those stones grow exponentially when bathed in any form of natural light, like the sun or moon. But even if you completely prevent any exposure, I'm afraid it's only a matter of time before the disease catches up with you. Okay, before I even continue, so did they... With, like, the birthday thing, like your 19th birthday, your 20th birthday, does she get the fruit and they do something like that because she can go to her different ages so they can celebrate before she dies, but I bet Vegapunk saves her or something? Forgive me for being so blunt, but your daughter has another 5 years at best. It'll be a miracle if she reaches her 10th birthday. I'm afraid it's simply terminal, going by our current scientific understanding of it. It'll be over by her 10th birthday? Bro. Kuma's just distraught right now. This Oda had to make it so as sad as possible, bro. This isn't fair. She's already growing into such a strong woman. Is there really no cure? Boo. And then he just falls over, bro. Bonnie, I thought you were asleep. I heard it all. You said it'll be over by my 10th birthday, right? Your 10th? I have no idea what you're talking about. I heard you say it. Hey, are you crying? Is it something I said? Yes, he said when you're 10, it was about your illness, Bonnie, that stupid doctor. He told me that your condition is going to continue as it is till you're 10. Huh? It's just such an appalling amount of time. I couldn't help but get down after that. That means I'll be all better when I'm 10, right? Bro. So we can go on those trips, isn't that right, Daddy? Oh no, what have I done? Oh my god. So now does this goal become finding some solution, almost like a Corazon law situation? Of course, by the time you've turned 10, you'll be cured. Yippee! What am I gonna do? Man. Had to make it as sad as possible. A familiar nightmare would soon descend on the kingdom of Sorbet, only 1 year later. Kuma, you've got to save us. King Bikori has returned, and he's just as monstrous as ever. It's just like 16 years ago. He still wants to cut loose the country's dead weight. He's going to burn the people in their homes. What? The never-ending tragedy continues to unfold. Alright, well, the onion cutting ninjas are probably working overtime this week. That was something. That was real sad. I guess I'll say this. I am beyond happy with the route that Oda took with Bonnie. Because it's sad. I don't even know what else to say. It's just like the fact that Guinea was taken and, you know, we can connect the dots ourselves, but forced to have a child. And so Kuma's taking care of a child that isn't really his, which is kind of what I wanted, but not quite in this manner. And it's because, like, we saw this with Boa, right? A very similar thing where Boa, you know, got taken and, you know, branded and given fruit, and, you know, we can probably presume whatever else they did. And just to see that Guinea was, like, forced to have a kid, and, like, once she got, and then she got sick with this Sapphire scale thing. But I guess my question is, like, do we think they gave her Sapphire scale, like, in Marijois on purpose because they just didn't want her anymore and it was easiest to be, like, to, like, get her sick and kick her out? Like, did they, and then she would also die, like, so she couldn't share the secrets that she learned while being there. I don't know if that's it, or did she actually get it randomly somehow while doing something else? You know, I don't really know what the truth is there. I'm curious what you guys think, because it would make sense that they would give her the disease on purpose so that they can kick her out and she won't share anything. But then it's also like, I don't know. I don't know. That maybe, like, if they took her originally, like, did they just get bored of her, or, you know, I don't really know. That's terrible though. It's so sad. This was tough. And then I think the other thing that is kind of on my mind is, like, this disease, I don't know, like, there's obviously a white lead connection. So, like, where do we think that's coming from, or where Oda's gonna go with the Sapphire scale thing, right? Like, where is that? I don't know. Is it from somewhere, kind of like how Flevins had white lead? Is Sapphire scale from, like, a certain island? Did Guinea go there with the Celestial Dragons, and maybe, like, she didn't have a helmet on, so she got it? Like, there's a lot of cool ideas there, I think. And then I also saw, Shinuku, I saw your comment. I totally agree with what you said there about King Bikori is, like, Dofi, basically. And yes, like, that, they're definitely paralleling that a lot, because obviously Dofi was a celestial dragon in Marijois at one point, like his family was, and his dad left, you know, and took the family out, and then he wanted to go back but couldn't, and so he went back and took Dressrosa, which was his family's place, you know. So that whole connection, I think that's fitting here too. Now I think now I'm wondering, you know, well, actually, in tying this to Bikori even more, if anybody saw my review on Redacted, King Bikori looks a lot like Don Quixote Mjosgard's dad. Like, they look, to me, very similar. Like, I would not be shocked at all if there's, like, it's probably the maternal side of the family. There's, like, a connection going back further. I think I talked about it in the video a little bit. But, so the fact that Mjosgard might be related to someone who's, like, related to King Bikori might even connect the Don Quixotes to this directly, which makes this even crazier. So there's some crazy stuff from this chapter, guys, that we can read into. I'm going to get into some of these super chats real quick before I forget about some of them, because I wouldn't say I'm distraught, but I'm definitely emotionally moved by that chapter. That was crazy. That was something. Mr. Bushido, if you don't cry reading this, then are you human? Yeah, I completely get it. Even if I didn't shed tears here, you probably heard me sniffle a few times. It's, this is one of those things where if I was by myself and I was just sitting there and I could stop and think about everything more and just, like, bask in the moment without having to talk, I probably would be crying profusely. It's like such a moving chapter. 10 out of 10 for the Kuma flashback, Oda. If you're listening, even with the art accounted for, the I'm actually happy the art wasn't good in this chapter, like I said, or it's still good. I'm sorry, Oda. I didn't mean it like that. Uh, so yeah, it's just awesome flashback. Um, let's see, Sam Fisher with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. I have never. Oh, now I just moved it. I have never liked Bonnie's eye piercing, but what if it's exposed cybernetics covering the scars from the sapphires? I love what you're saying. Even if it's just like she had a scar there and she wanted to cover it with something just to maybe like make her forget about it, or maybe because like they called the sapphires jewelry anyway, and now she has like a gold ring there, gold piercing, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So I like the idea that she like did jewelry she likes or something. Maybe the sapphire like was a painful memory or something, or it's probably like Vegapunk probably took care of her and like fixed her, and it might be like he had to take off the sapphires because it's like, well, if I leave these, you're never gonna get cured, and then maybe like they had to put a piercing there to cover the scar or something. I like that idea regardless. That's just a beautiful connection if Oda does that. Because a lot, like, you think about Luffy's, like, I shouldn't say every, but probably every facial scar in One Piece is incredibly important, right? Like, Luffy did his to himself when he was, talking to Shanks and stuff, so that's, like, a cool connection. Shanks got his from Blackbeard, so that's a cool connection. There's lots of examples like that. Zoro, we don't know what his is yet exactly, but obviously, now his eye is shut all the time, which is cool, and we're going to figure that out, hopefully, eventually, maybe not. So for Bonnie to have hers be tied to this, I would love that. Shoot, I keep losing my place. Brandon King, been a member for 5 months. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here. Saturn equals Bonnie's dad. Dad equals Satan. Father equals Jesus. Huh. So Saturn being Bonnie's dad. So Guinea was, taken by Saturn. That was like his wife or something like that. It's funny because, like, the first thing I would say is, oh, there's not really any reason to think that, or maybe even I would say there's reason to not think that because, like, he probably saw Guinea at God Valley and might make the connection potentially. But, I don't know, the fact like he was okay like not killing Bonnie, like, oh, she's just a little girl, leave her alone, like, I mean, that would be really crazy. And the fact that he like got stabbed by Bonnie, so it's like, I am your father moment. It could happen, man. That would make this even more sad. Saturn would have to die. Like, not that he would, like, I still think for the story it'd be weird for a Gorsei to die this quickly because he was just introduced. But if that's true, and Saturn is Bonnie's like biological dad, he needs to die. I don't want him around. That's just get rid of the man. And Kuma showing up, so for Kuma to do some damage to him or to at least stop what his goal is here, that would be really cool too. I like that a lot. It scares me that you said that, but I like it. Adam Murray, okay, I already read that one. Like the stream, everyone, please like the stream if you have not already. Every time I read one, I lose my spot. Sam Fisher, thank you again, bro, with the $5 super chat. What if the reason they gave Bonnie the age fruit is so she could live a full life in a shortened amount of time? Yeah, and so that's another thing is, for Boa, we know that the Celestial Dragons gave her the fruit, but we haven't seen her change ages yet in this flashback at all, right? So I don't think she has the fruit yet. Like, technically she could, but you would just imagine that if she had it, Oda would show us her aging up and down, unless I missed it somewhere, but I don't remember that. So I don't think she has it yet, and so just going to your idea of like, so she could live a full life. Yeah, like maybe they go to Vegapunk and maybe that's, or even Dragon, maybe that's one of the first things is like, well, if she's going to die by 10, let's just skip 10, let's just go past it. And then she'll get to live a normal life or whatever. Like I like that idea. But then they end up curing it anyway. And then she has this fruit and it's like really important. And man, and this ties back, this is like kind of random, but this also ties back to like the Akainu thing where he says like, I got like a chill down my spine or whatever whenever I heard you were out there. It's like, so he knows that she's technically a celestial dragon child, right? I would presume, and that's why he's saying that. And you would think, I gotta say this too, you would imagine that the celestial dragons would want to keep one of their children. Like, I guess it's not like a purebred child, but then I guess I'm just thinking, like, the celestial dragon men, like, do they just get all sorts of wives, and then, like, at one point they pick a celestial dragon wife, and then, like, they can't cheat on her? or do they have a celestial dragon wife and other wives all at the same time, but they only keep children with the celestial dragon wife? Like, what? You know, that whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because they gotta get kids, you know, somewhere, so they're probably just only doing the celestial dragon's kids, celestial dragon children, so they're all inbred then. But then they're also getting external wives, and so that's, I don't know. That's a whole weird, conundrum there. Let's see, Adam Murray with the $2 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Drum Kingdom parallels are real awful. Kings are back. Yeah. The Drum Kingdom, the Dressrosa, even, well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of connections there with, this, like, king returning plot line. You know what I mean? Like, getting their kingdom back, their rightful place back. And so this leads me to an idea of maybe Bikori's family from way in the past had sorbet, like, before they became celestial dragons. And now the question is, why is he not in Marijois anymore? And who knows that, really. But I could see something like that where he actually is connected to them or somehow. But yeah, with Drum Kingdom too, because Wapple's also relevant right now in the story, so like that alone could be something. Man, Oda was cooking. James Benson with the $5. Sapphire scale with celestial dragons during Triple N. It's definitely blue ball disease. Explains the recent chapters so much. Yeah, it's definitely a No Nut November tie-in, because you know what? If Oda knows, I have it on the panel right now, if Oda knows about this thing, flipping the bird like this, he knows about No Nut November. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll say this. The Celestial Dragons, they don't participate in No Nut November. I can tell you that. That's guaranteed. Man, every time I look back at the chapter, I just get moved again. But you know what? Something that just occurred to me that I just thought of because of your comment, James, actually, like a legitimate theory tying to this, is, could it be something like, you know, the Celestial Dragons wear those helmets all the time? Could it be that, like, if, like, I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like, basically, Guinea got sick because she, like, needed a helmet. I don't know how, maybe that's it. Or just by breathing the same air as the Celestials, like, humans, like, automatically get sick or something. Or maybe, like, Bonnie being a Celestial Dragon hybrid child immediately makes her sick or something. Or, yeah, maybe it's something like Guinea, you know, having a Celestial Dragon child, maybe, like, those genes poisoned her, and actually, okay, now we might be cooking. Because it's called Sapphire Scale. Oh, okay, hold on, now we're really cooking. I gotta keep thinking. Now we're really going somewhere. So Sapphire Scale disease. What character or being in One Piece could you say roughly has sapphire scales? Now, they're not made of sapphire exactly, to our knowledge. They're probably not. But Kaido's scales, blue scales, were said to be, like, I forget exactly what Luffy said, but they were really hard. Like, whenever he was training Ryo, he's like, this might be able to break Kaido's scales. And so I'm just thinking, going back to the God Valley incident, where, like, they talked about the crown jewel of Hachinosu, which the official just said the treasure, by the way, but they said crown jewel and TCB, whatever. And I was saying that's probably Kaido's fruit based off the dialogue, because, like, Big Mom's like, I'm gonna go get it, and immediately grabs the dragon fruit. And so now this builds an interesting connection where, like, do the Celestial Dragons actually have, like, dragon DNA or something. And so whenever they mix with humans, the humans like get scaled over basically. I don't know if that made any sense to the I'm kind of thinking out loud right now. But basically, like, maybe the reason the Celestial Dragons wanted Kaido's fruit, and maybe, like, all of those fruits in general, but Kaido's, because we saw it in the flashback, is one of the prizes, might be tied to this. Like, that's their thing, because they are Celestial Dragons, and Kaido's a blue dragon that King said was going to be Joy Boy, or, a.k.a. the Sun God, I guess. So, yeah, I wonder if there's a connection there with, like, so Guinea, once she spent enough time with Celestial Dragons, she just, like, got sick because of, I don't even know exactly what you would call that. I think something's there where like there's actual, like, this is like a dragon connected disease, like she's turning into a dragon, but because she's a human and not a celestial dragon, she dies, something like that. I honestly think that could be something for sure. That would make a lot of sense because they're called celestial dragons for a reason, right? Let's see, Big Cheap, been a member for 3 months. Remember how Kuma said if he leaves a pain bubble, it'll return back to the person? What if that's happening to his memory and that's why he's taking action? It's being drip-fed back to him. I think that's what you said. I just moved it again. Streamlabs is just not kind to me. So yeah, so you're right. The pain bubble, if that's always going to exist and will come back to you, or haunt you, I think is what he said, would the memory bubble do the same thing? That's such an interesting thought, because he's supposed to have lost his consciousness, right? But if his memory still exists somewhere, sorry, acid reflux, then yeah, like maybe his cyborg body is being haunted by his memories that still do exist, even if they're separate from him. I like that mindset. I don't know exactly how that would work, like, literally, because obviously the memory bubble is still there. But I like just the parallel. I think Oda will tie back to that, like, because the memory bubble is gonna matter at some point when Kuma comes back to Egghead, which I think at this point we all know it's happening. Huh. I like that. I don't know how it would work, but I like that idea. And Chin-Ho Wong has been a member for 2 months. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. One of the GOATs. Been around since literally day one. Hiryuluk's disease was bad. Oda gave a kid a worst one. Yeah, yes. Now, and Roger's disease too, right? Like, Hiryuluk and Roger, I feel like they probably had some relatively similar diseases, because also Hiryuluk is tied to, cherry blossoms and stuff, and we saw Roger talking to Whitebeard before he died, around cherry blossom trees, so I like that connection. So it is weird that Bonnie got like a worse one, and again, maybe that ties to the celestial dragons, like by virtue of spending time with them, this happens to you through, either by, well, yeah, because like, it's like so dark, I don't even like talking about it. But like, if Guinea was impregnated by a celestial dragon, then she would have like a combo of, like, she would have celestial dragon lineage factor within her, and maybe that's what started the disease, and that's also what starts the disease for Bonnie, because she's not purebred. Yeah, I feel like that's where it's going. I feel like that's definitely where it's going. Mana Crow super chatted. Is that 55 euro? What? Mana Crow, thank you. That, you really didn't need to. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hi, Dak. Sorry for the tag in the wrong channel last time. No worries. I didn't get spoiled or anything, so it's all good. I don't think you did it on purpose, so it's all good. During this chapter, we saw Kuma casually walking past a God's Night at either Goa or Baltigo when going to Guinea. If it's at Baltigo, how could they have set up base at Baltigo for so long? Well, let me go back and look at that. I don't remember that, but if you super chatted it. So you said they walked past a God's Night at either Goa or Baltigo? Where, I guess, where is the God's Night for sure? Are you talking about... Hold on. This guy over here with, like, the axe? Is that what you're talking about? I do need to think about this Goa stuff more, though. This Baltigo and Goa stuff. That's really interesting. Um, do you mean... I'm gonna pull up the other chat. I don't know if you're still here or not, but if you mean this guy, I don't think we know that's a God's Night at any point. I don't think we know. Or what you're talking about down here. Okay, I see what you're talking about. This guy with like the mask, because that we saw him. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Right here. Okay. Well, I doubt that's it because, yeah, I don't think that can be a God's Night. I don't think that could, like, it just wouldn't make any sense, right? It is an interesting catch, though. If that's what you mean, I think that's what you mean. That is really interesting. Yeah, Vex, I probably agree with you. It's probably just a Rev because they're on Baltigo, and it's just like... They were in Baltigo until post-time skip when Burgess found them, so I just feel like if the God's Knight was ever there... Unless this is like a hint from Oda that there's an undercover God's Knight helping the Revs, which... You know, I doubt it, but... Can't rule it out, I suppose, but because we saw that there's a CP0 member working for Vegapunk, which is adjacent. But yeah, I think that's probably just a Rev, if I had to guess. That is a good catch, though. That is very interesting. If anyone has any info, by the way, on the Goa stuff, let me know. Like, did we already know there was a battle in Goa or something at that time? Did we? I don't remember that at all. I don't even know where. I'll find it later. I'll talk about it in the review, but I thought that was really weird. Like, that was just a random kind of message. But, I mean, we know they got Sabo, so I guess there's a connection there. But I don't know. It's just beautiful from Oda. Just so many theory things to think about. But thank you again, Mana Crow. I really appreciate you. Thank you. And no worries about tagging me in the wrong channel. No problem. Honestly, if there was, I would have banned you. I'm pretty brazen with it. So no worries, no worries. I love having you in the server, so no problem. Mr. Bushido with the €5 super chat. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I'm just trying to get this organized. Okay, we're good now. There's a lot of Uta comparisons. Maybe she's a Figureland. The book she is reading is the Bible. Uta comparison's really good. That's a very, very, very good comparison here, I think. Now, the book she's reading, I think, is Kuma's Bible. But now the question is, what's actually in that book, right? Because the back of the book has Kuma's, like, current shirt thing that you know, has, like, the target symbol. And you know, the front's obviously the Bible, and it has a woman on it that people, I think is Lily or potentially or someone adjacent to it. Or I guess maybe Emu, who knows. And, you know, I gotta say, for that Bible, now that we see it this far back and, like, they've had it in this church and all that, that Bible's gotta be super important. I think a lot of us already knew that, but the fact that, you know, it's this old and all that, I wonder if that book is tied to how Ivankov knew about Nerona Emu and the other 20 kings. Like, is the Bible in One Piece like the story of the world? You know what I'm saying? Like the current world, like the Bible, which, I mean, you could draw a lot of parallels to real life there, I think, where, like, you know, the Bible's trying to tell everyone how the world started, or at least their version of how the world started. Which, like, in this case, it would be government propaganda or something. But it talks about Nika. Well, I guess we don't know if the book talks about Nika exactly, right? But it does talk about islands in the air, which, like, the government definitely doesn't want people knowing about those. So I'm not sure, but this book, man, I don't know. Something's going on with it. And Mr. Bushido, again, with the €2. Remember when Blackbeard said Bonnie should be his girl? Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I doubt he knows what her true age is, but yeah, he is weird, isn't he? I mean, it was weird anyway, but now you can really read into it more, which, you know, he does have Vasco on his crew, right? Vasco would do exactly what whatever celestial dragon did this. That's a Vasco maneuver, and you know that Blackbeard's got Vasco on the crew for a reason. He even took him to Amazon Lily with him for a reason, right? So I don't even want to think about that anymore. But Baby Pluton with the $10 super chat. Baby Mole, I appreciate you. Oda had his heart broken growing up and his love taken from him, and this is a reflection of his pain. No other excuse for this treatment of Kuma D. Goat. Baby Mole Gang. Baby Mole Gang is right. I appreciate you. I smile when I see all your names, but Baby Pluton taking on the Baby Mole moniker means a lot to me. Whenever Pluton gets revealed, I'm Baby Mole. I need you to be there. I need you to be there. You've been there since day one. I don't know if this, maybe I'm just like misremembering, but I think I remember early on I kept calling you Baby Mole, and I think you said something like, well, I don't agree with the mole theory or something. And I might be misremembering, but that's what I remember. But now I know you call yourself Baby Mole, and I love it, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Even if you don't agree with the theory, I like you call yourself that. I appreciate it. But yeah, this has to be some kind of reflection of like Oda's real life pain or something, because this is like he's making the good guy just get trampled on over and over, right? But Kuma is also allowing it to some degree, because every time something comes up, he's taking the most selfless avenue for it. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I don't know if good guys finish last is the right term for it. It's a bit of a different thing here, because I actually Kuma, you know, Guinea liked Kuma, but she got taken away and everything. But it's very much like his kindness is just causing this pain to a degree, right? Like, because he's always being the most selfless person he can in every situation, it's causing him pain, both physical and, you know, mental or emotional, right? Like all of that. And man, so like I was saying, you know, Kuma, I feel like he's gonna die. You know, if there's a way for him to live, that'd be great, but he got half of his face blown off already. So I feel like the death flags are all over the place. And man, if he shows up and has another big selfless moment where he saves everybody but dies in the process, and maybe even cooks Saturn, which, like I said from Brandon King's comment, would be like 100 times better if Saturn was Bonnie's real biological dad. So if that all did come together, I mean, that would just be the perfect way to cap it off. It'd be incredibly sad, and Kuma D. Goat, like I said, he's getting his own video when Egghead's over. And I feel like that'd be a good way to cap it off, because, I mean, him living at this point, I mean, he would need a new body, which, you know, tying it to the Kyros idea, like we're talking about Kyros, you know, being another goated dad in One Piece, he was in a similar boat but like an opposite, where he was like still being a dad, but the daughter didn't know he was a dad. But this time, Kuma's taking care of his daughter, but she doesn't know that he's not her dad, technically, like biological dad. She definitely, you know, he is her dad, but not biological dad. So, so there is kind of an inversion there. And, you know, Kyros became a toy, like another mechanical thing. And Kuma is a cyborg right now, like a giant, dangerous toy, I guess you could say. So maybe there is some little thing that they can do there to save him. Oda would have to cook for that to work, because like there's just so many death flags. But yeah, I don't know. Shiny Charizard super chatted $2, sent you a DM about a Sapphire connection. I appreciate you, bro. I will check that out and reply right after this, because I'm gonna end the stream in about 10 minutes or so. Because Kev DOG is going live, I believe at 1. I know it was 1:15 originally, and then he texted me. Okay, yep, never mind. He's set for 1. He messaged me back. All right, we're good. Oh, okay. There was one other house going. I will be there Friday and Saturday. I know some creators and I are talking about like setting things up, you know, for us to meet up and maybe have like a, I don't know if you want to call it a meet and greet or something like that. Just some opportunity for all of us to meet up at the expo. We're gonna try setting that up, so I'll probably do a community post or something. But if you are going, I know I'm going, and maybe I shouldn't name all the people, but a lot of your favorite creators are going. So if you guys are going, keep an eye on the community post because we might have a chance to meet up and talk some One Piece. Mana Crow with the €6 super chat. Thank you again. I appreciate you. This flashback for Bonnie doesn't spell much good for Shanks' mom either. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's such a good connection. Like, Garling might have gotten another slave wife kind of thing, just like Guinea, and that's Shanks's mom. And then the question would be, who is that? Like, what role is that individual gonna have? Because like we didn't even know Guinea existed till a few chapters ago, and now she's already dead, right? Wow. That's scary to think about. And Uta's probably in a similar boat. Well, like we'd have to think about that because like going back to the dialogue from the movie, they said like, "Oh, that's Shanks's daughter. Maybe she has Figurlin blood or something." But we know that that's not Shanks's biological daughter, right? He like found her, like Roger found him. So I wonder how that connects. But either way, yeah, Oda's definitely doing some stuff here with the kind of celestial dragon hybrid orphans, I guess you could say. Sam Fisher, again, thank you, bro. This chapter basically confirms to me that Kuma became the pacifista in exchange for Vegapunk curing the Sapphire scale. 100%. I think that's, like, guaranteed. I mean, especially, like, if Kuma goes to Vegapunk / the government and is like, hey, I will basically become your slave if you save my daughter. I think Vegapunk and the government might be like, okay, and maybe that ties to Saturn saying why he didn't want to kill Bonnie, or like, you know, she's just a little girl, leave her alone. Because it could be that like they made a deal and he's trying to be kind of honorable in a way, as honorable as he possibly can, I would imagine, because they made that deal, like make him a full cyborg so Kuma can't disobey but save his daughter. And now maybe what'll happen is Kuma shows up and disobeys and he's like, okay, well obviously, you know, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain, and then so he like threatens Bonnie, you know, so that way like, because then he feels like he can kill her at that point. I think something like that is definitely possible, like an exchange, because that would also make it deeper, because it's kind of like maybe the Celestial Dragons told the Marines like, hey, don't kill this pirate, you're just not allowed, and like that, you know, and so that's why Akainu's like my chills went down my spine. And but then it's also like, did Blackbeard know this, and that's why he picked Bonnie specifically? And then that leads us to the question of like, what does Blackbeard know about the Gorosei's powers and intentions, if that makes any kind of sense? Like, if he knows, because they could have picked Bonnie as like, I'm just going to go pick any high bounty pirate because then the government will give me a warship in return. But I feel like that logic isn't super duper sound, because like pirates can't collect bounties. We learned this. I can't remember when they said it, but you know, like Whitebeard used like a liaison to get bounties. Like Whitebeard had to give it to someone who technically wasn't a pirate, or like give the bodies to them, and then they got the money and gave Whitebeard, but they got a cut of it or something. I think we learned that in the Ace novels. I think is when we learned that. So now for Blackbeard, he was never going to get a bounty no matter what from anybody, but we know that he's tried, you know, strong arming. Well, he was like a no-name pirate, I guess, actually, like beforehand. So maybe like for Luffy and Ace, it was like a different thing. But now with Bonnie, it should be like he's like a very well-known pirate that they want. There's no way they're going to like give in to him. So it has to be that he knew Bonnie was important, I think. I think that's where we're going. So how does he know that? How does he know? Oh, well, I feel like this whole thought has me thinking about my next Blackbeard video more, because in that video, well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think Blackbeard might be able to tap into a similar thing that the Gorosei are, I guess is how I'll roughly put it for now. Like, I think he might be privy to how the Gorosei do transformations and stuff, somehow. And so I guess this just all ties to like, well, how does Blackbeard know all this stuff? That's what I need to know. That's my goat for a reason. Well, Kuma might be my goat now at this point. Damn. So many theories to think about at this point. Like, it's crazy. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. Shiny Charizard, I might try to run over to Discord real quick and read that one. Yeah, I'm going to go over there real quick and read what you sent me. If I have time. Okay, so you sent me something about the god Apollo. The ancient Greeks associated Sapphire with the god Apollo, who is a sun god. The famous oracle of Delphi, sapphires were often worn due to the belief sapphires are connected to the spirit world. Later on, sapphires were popular with necromancers and witches, due to their supposed ability to tap into the third eye. That's interesting. I like that. This is one of those things where, like, you know, whenever it comes to tying it to like real life mythology, I always like put the caution tape up, just because I know Oda, like, I'll take a tiny little piece of this, but nothing more. Like, he does that a lot. But I do like this because not only does Apollo tie to the sun and sapphires, obviously, but also the third eye aspect. Yeah, that's interesting. That is really interesting, the sapphire. And we also know that, like, Greek mythos is heavily tied into One Piece. I mean, the ancient weapons are, you know, one of the biggest examples of that. I like that. That's interesting, man. That is really interesting. Like, this is one of those things where, well, and we also know that Bonnie, like, is aware of Nika now, too. So there's another little connection where, like, the Sapphire girl does worship the sun god, I guess you could say. That is really interesting. Baby Mole, that disease is required for Pudding to awaken her third eye. I was about to get there. Like, could it be that she needs this disease to do that? Like, maybe it doesn't happen otherwise. And then that leads me to another crazy idea that I think Hidden has talked about. Hidden Island, for those who don't, I think you guys probably all know. And there's some other creators who have brought it up before as well. But maybe Emu is a third eye member. And basically, that's like why the Celestial Dragons are what they are, because like Celestial Dragon blood plus Emu's third eye blood equals like awakened third eye or something. Like, that's like, you know, we're getting thick in the weeds now, but something like that would be really interesting. Like, the reason Emu rose to the top is because Emu's third eye, and the third eye plus Celestial Dragon is like this all-powerful, like, maybe not all-powerful, but all-knowing thing, because like the third eye awakened might let you read the poneglyphs and whatever, which they need. So it could be, there's a lot of cool connections there now that I think about it. Not that, like, there's like maybe some mini evidence that Emu has a third eye, but that's just kind of like the idea. But if it is true, that makes this all very interesting. I don't know. All I gotta say is, even thinking about this makes me like the idea that I said earlier about, like, the Celestial Dragons are making people have these sapphire scales, because like they are, like, the fact they're called Celestial Dragons, I think we will find out why eventually, and there will be a legitimate reason. Like, they will be able to become a space dragon. Now, not, again, maybe it's like a Saturn thing. You know, Saturn, like, was still on the ship but summoned a creature from the underworld, basically, like out of that pentagram circle. Maybe like every Celestial Dragon can do the same. Or maybe Emu can sacrifice them to become dragon, like actual dragons. I don't know. There's a lot of weird connections there, I think. But yeah. Baby Mole, Hidden, never heard of him. Well, he is hidden. You know what I mean? If he's hidden most of the time, then it is hard to find him and hear of him. You know what I'm saying? By definition. Killer Comedy said, sorry, y'all, I was shopping. What were you buying, bro? What were you buying? Adam Murray, I'm thinking Emu is human, a scheming evil human like Stelly. I 100% agree. Now, and maybe, I don't know if you're saying that because you saw my video, or if we just, you know, mind roped, but I did talk about that a little bit in one of my videos, and I think where it's gonna go is that Emu is like Stelly, but got possessed by something. So like the physical body of Emu will be a Stelly type character, but they are possessed by a more powerful being who, because by like Stelly, by virtue of just being who he is biologically, has a lot of power in the world because he's like the king of Goa now. I think he like killed his parents, right? Or that's like what we can presume, so he could become king. Like he's obviously messed up. I think that's true. Like we can connect the dots there. I don't know if it's official, but either way. But so Emu, you know, if they were like Stelly, by them biologically being who they were, like born into the monarchy or whatever of their kingdom, you know, the Nerona family, then they would be the king and be accepted as a leader, and all the other celestial dragons would recognize them. But then if another powerful force can just take over that body, then everything gets a lot easier. Because like if a pirate walks in like, hey, I'm going to take over and you're all going to listen to me, they're going to be like, no. But if a celestial dragon walks in and says that, but they have some kind of crazy power that they can use, then maybe there's a reason. I don't know. Like it would just make it more realistic, I guess, because it is weird right now that, like, why would celestial dragons bow down to another one? You know what I'm saying? Which I think is a fair question for the Gods Knights also, because it's like, especially if the Gods Knights were orphans from Mother Carmel's place, which like in the last chapter, 2 chapters ago, whatever it was, we saw some faces that look like that from kids from the House of Lambs. So there's also a question where if non-celestial dragons, that, you know, and orphans from Mother Carmel's House of Lambs, for example, can become Gods Knights, well, how they're judging other celestial dragons. That's like the Gods Knights' job, is to judge other celestial dragons. And so it's kind of like, how do these regular people not only become high up ranking people in the government, but also judge other celestial dragons? Like, what is that about? So it's kind of the same thing with Emu, where like, why do other celestial dragons accept one as above the rest of them? Even the Gorosei, I think, is fair. So there's a lot of really weird connections there. Adam Murray, it's all the thumbnail has like Emu's face real big. That's all I can remember. If you want to watch it, it has Emu's face real big, but it's like kind of like a sketch sort of looking style. It's like very, I don't know how to describe it. I can send you a link. I don't know if you're in the Discord or whatever, but I just can't remember exactly what the title is. Shiny Charizard with the $5. I appreciate you. And then after this, we are going to end the stream because Kev DOG is going live soon. But what about Guinea's line, I finally made it back to the surface? Similar to what Saturn said, right? Unless they just mean leaving the red line. Yeah, it's very true. Very, very, very similar. I think for her, it's definitely like she went from the red line down to the regular surface, because we saw her at Sorbet, right? So I think for her, and we know she was taken and all that, so I think contextually that's going to be her. But actually for Saturn, I didn't even think about this, I'm glad you brought it up, but the like we saw him at God Valley 38 years ago, right? And so that's on the surface. So whenever he said, it's been a long time since I've been to the surface, I can't remember the last time I've been to the surface, it's like, all right, you're lying, Saturn. Like, if you mean the regular surface, like coming from red line down to the mainland, or like the blue sea, whatever, like that's major cap, because you were at God Valley. I'm sure you remember that. There's like 0% chance he forgets God Valley, right? Unless like he gets his memory wiped, which obviously I think would be crazy. Excuse me. I'm getting over this acid reflux now. And so now that we know he was at God Valley, basically the whole point of everything I just said is that I think it's even more likely that he came from the underworld, because I can't remember the last time I came to the surface. Well, you mean the underworld then, because you remember God Valley, you know. And if it wasn't God Valley and it was a more recent time than that, then he would have even more likely remembered, right? So I think Guinea is redlined to the regular surface, but Saturn is meaning underworld, upward. But the fact they said the same thing does worry me, that Saturn is Bonnie's real dad, which that would hurt me to discover, but it's looking like it's possible. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys again for another amazing reaction. I know we're on break next week, but like I said, next week Anime NYC, so I would have been kind of busy anyway. So thank you, Oda, for doing that. If any of you guys are going, keep an eye on community posts. Like I said, might have a chance to meet up. And then lastly, this stream that you're watching right now is going to become Kev's stream. It's going to redirect you. If you've been here the last few weeks, you guys know how this works. Just stay put. It should automatically send you to Kev's stream, and if it doesn't, it will at least like have something pop up that says like everyone's going to Kev's stream. Click here to watch. So either or, I will be over there. I'm gonna go and let my dogs out real quick, but I will be over at Kev's stream in the next like 10 minutes or so. So hope to see you guys there. Don't spoil them on anything. But I appreciate. Hey, Dark Glacier. I saw you said Glacier Gang. Is that you? Are you Glacier from the Discord? Is that you? So Dark Glacier's your YouTube name? I just want to remember that. Also, I guess I should say this real quick. Vargan, appreciate you being here. Young Usopp, I appreciate you sliding in, even though you just got here. Young Usopp just dropped a Bink Sake song on his channel. I think you dropped it today, right? I think it was today. I know you had it scheduled. I can't remember. I think it's today. Go check out that song. Terrible TJ, thank you for showing up. J-Do, Chin Ho Wong, Terrible TJ, Vex. I'm just going off the names that I see right here. Sorry if I missed you. Derek Miles, Birch, all you guys. I appreciate y'all as always. But yeah, Kev's about to start, so catch you guys next week or 2 weeks.